Well, good day everyone. So I'm here with the DR-z400 and I just want to give you a quick video kind of showing you all the updates on this thing. So a couple things we've done is we've gone ahead and done the front wheel. So now the front wheel has a brand new tire on it, new bearings and seals, it's cleaned up and it's ready to go. So we've also put a new speedo cable on there, and I just double checked all the braking systems to make sure they're in good shape, but it looks like it's in great shape there. So the other thing we're going to do is we went ahead and put the wheel on the back, the shock back in the bike, and I'm just getting ready to put in the new sprockets. So just wanted to quickly just show you how I do that. And please leave me a comment below if there's any questions about how you would gear this machine. I've gone to a 1447, which is the standard E model gearing, a little lower than the normal S model gearing. So this is mainly going to be used off-road, so that's why we're doing that. Stock on this bike was 15, I believe, 48. It might have been 52, I can't remember for sure. But, so it'll be a little bit slower than stock, but I want it that way. So as you can see here, we've got a JB Weld fix-it job. So I got this bike. This port here was actually seized up with a bolt broke off onto it. So I drilled that out and took it out. And I'm going to leave this for right now. I did have a leak here, but I think it was actually from the counter shaft seal behind here. There's a seal behind here that is easily replaceable without having to take the motor apart. So I ordered a new seal kit. It gives you the seal behind this retainer, it gives you the outer seal there, and then this ring here, which is a spacer, and then there's a couple O-rings. You only need one of the O-rings that come with that, but it comes with two. So it's just held in place with these two screws. Now these are JIS screws, so we're going to use my JIS vessel screwdriver, and I'm just going to torque these down. I've gone ahead and Loctited these and made sure that they're in good shape. Checked all that information, all this stuff out, and just made sure that's good. And we're going to go ahead and put the new sprocket on. So this again is a 14-tooth JT sprocket. And I just need to pick up on the rear wheel to get that to go in there, so it doesn't hit here on that. And looks like we got just enough there. We'll put the retaining ring here for the nut, and then we'll put the nut on here. Now this nut has, you can see a convex side and a flat side. The flat side is out. This convex side goes in. So we'll spin that onto there, and this gets torqued down to 81 foot-pounds. I'll put that into gear and grab my torque wrench. So I've just got a rag. I'm going to jam that in there to stop that gear from going too far. And you can hear that click there. That shows it's now torqued down. Grab this safety washer here, or whatever you want to call it, flange washer, and just pull that down. I'm going to do this on 3 sides. I don't know if that's the right way, but that's the way the bike was originally, and it seems to make sense to me just to keep things balanced. This is a DID 520 roller chain, just a basic chain, nothing fancy. Place my master link, and we've got a washer that goes over that. And then we put this clip on here. Now this clip, this is extremely important. This clip travels around like this. So what you want is the way it's traveling around this wheel is the way you want to put this on. So you want to make sure that the open part of this clip is toward the tailing end. There we go. So you can see here the opened end is toward the bottom here on the back of the sprocket. That means as this travels around and up around and through this block, as well as around the sprockets, that it's always pushing that clip on rather than off. You know, the other way to do this would be to use a riveting tool and rivet this permanently, so there's no possible way for it to come off. But you know, we'll see how this goes from now. I'm kind of two minds with regard to that. I would much rather be able to take this off with a basic tool than have to buy 2 more tools to rivet and to remove a master link. Went ahead and picked up the stock. This is an OEM part I got from Rocky Mountain. I think it was about $8 for this is the little spacer that goes on. And then I also got a TPR chain guard. And these are, of course, are a bit of an upgrade. They're a machined aluminum, and so that'll be a little bit nicer. And they come with some new hex head screws, Allen head screws. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this on now. So I'm just going to Loctite this with blue Loctite. So just a little dab of this Loctite here on this bolt. And then I'll go ahead and slide these through. You know, and there's lots of bikes out there. I know people that ride without chain guards. Myself, I really like having them. I like having them for a lot of reasons. One of the main reasons being is they are there to protect your leg, but they're also there to protect your motor. And you know, if you do break a chain for whatever reason, these decrease the chances of that chain going through your motor, through your engine cases. That would be bad. So, especially if you're 20 miles back in somewhere. So I'm just going to kind of barely tighten these a little bit and then kind of bring them down even. It's not too big a deal, but I'll torque these down. This is like any of the other bolts on this thing. They need to be torqued down to 8 foot-pounds, so it's not a huge amount. And just to be certain that I've got that spaced out right, I'm going to go ahead and spin that, and that looks awesome. So what we're going to do is use a measuring technique for setting the slack or the free play of the chain. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to have a tape measure hanging off of the swing arm. That way if the bike moves or the tire moves, it's going to allow me to, it's not going to change my measurement. You wouldn't want to put this on the floor unless your bike is not moving at all when you push down on that chain. So something to keep in mind is you also want the bike to be vertical. I have it up on the stand here. You can do it on the stand or on the ground, just being held vertical. You just don't want it on the side stand. So I've got this putty knife here. That's just for my reference here. I'm going to stick this right on top of this link right here. And I can see here I've got a measurement pushing down on this of 7 13/16. So then if I move this up as far as I can, I'm going to get 8 1/8. So what you would do is you subtract those from each other, 8 and an 8, 8 and 1/8, and that. And I can tell you right now I'm close to 2 inches, a little close to 2 inches, I think there. So I want to actually tighten up on this just a little bit. So again, I'll turn this one click, and that's going to push the tire back or the axle back and tighten up on this chain just a bit. So what I want to do is I want to place my tape measure on the swing arm, and so I'm going to move my chain. I'm going to push up, I've got 1 inch there. Push down, I've got 1 1/2. So that's basically 1.5, and that's not pushing very hard. So if I push a little harder, let's double check here. Yeah, see there's 7/8. Push down, 1 1/2. So I've got 1 5/8 now, and this is 2 clicks above the 2 on my rotator ring on the rear axle. Another method you can use is to just put 3 fingers on here, and you can see that's the same as what I've got here. is just 3 fingers from the top of the swing arm to the bottom of the chain, and I can just barely move there, so we're just fine there. Now that I've got my chain set to the proper free play or chain sag, I'm going to go ahead and note where my clicker is here. So this is the number 2 here, and I'm 2 clicks above that. Okay, so I'll just go to the other side of the bike and replicate that same setting. Okay, so 2 clicks above. Okay, so that is the rear axle put on there. I'm just going to tighten this up, and then we're going to torque it down to 74 Newton meters. But what I want to make sure of is, you can see right here is the number 2 and a little tick. So that is number 2. So this is 2.1, 2.2. I'm on 2 clicks above 2 on this other side. I'll just double check that. Yep, looks good. And I want to make sure that I'm right up against this pin here, which I am. So I'm going to go ahead and just bring this up and watch this as I'm tightening this. There we go. And then I have my cotter pin. And looks like I need to back it off just a tiny bit. Yeah, because it's not going to work with either hole. There. And like everything, I think there's lots of opinions on how to do this properly, but the manual recommends that you do this and that. And that's all there is to it. So the idea is the pin is vertical, and that won't change unless something really bad happens. And then as that pin goes down through, you fold one side up and over the front, the other side down and over the front that way. And then there's even those that round that off just a little bit so you don't catch it on things, but it's good to go. So it's all ready to go. Brand new cotter pin on there. You know, it will work really well, and we'll check it out once we get it on the bike. I'm gonna go ahead and check my alignment once we get things finished up here. But for the most part, that rear wheel is finished with everything we need.